Iowa Secretary of State auditing voter records. The review looked at 2.3 million voter records and found about 2,100 that were problematic. 87 people self-reported after voting that they weren't citizens. 67 self-reported after registering to vote but didn't cast a ballot. And about 2,000 self-reported they weren't citizens but then voted or registered anyway. Altogether, the numbers represent less than 0.1% of voter records.